You hear about the stock market all the time, right? It's on the news, it's in the movies, it's just everywhere. But for a lot of us, it feels like this super complicated foreign language. Well, today, we're going to translate. This is for anyone who's ever heard someone talking about the market and just kind of nodded along, hoping nobody would ask you a question.
Oh yeah, this? Sound familiar? You turn on the radio and you hear that deep, serious voice saying something just like this. And it sounds, important. But what does it actually mean? It just feels like a bunch of words designed to go in one ear and out the other.
Exactly. That is the big question. What is the market? What are these points they're always talking about? It's almost like it's meant to be confusing, but I promise you it's not. So let's pull back the curtain and see what's really going on.
To most people, the whole stock market thing seems like this big daily mystery, an exclusive club with a secret code. But it's not a secret, and it's definitely not a code. It's actually a system built on a few really simple and very human ideas.
And before your eyes start to glaze over, picturing all those complicated charts with blinking lights, stop. We are not doing that. Because at its heart, the stock market isn't about math or charts. It's about something way simpler, something we all get: ownership.
So, to understand this whole massive system, we have to start small. We've got to look at the single most important piece of the puzzle. The one building block of this entire financial universe: a single stock. Okay, so what is a stock? It's just a tiny, tiny piece of a company. That's it. Seriously, think of a big company maybe Starbucks, as a giant pizza. Buying one share of their stock is like buying one slice of that pizza. You don't own the whole restaurant, but you are officially a part owner of that pizza. All right, so you've got these pizza slices. Where do you actually go to buy and sell them? Well, that happens at a stock exchange. Just think of it like a giant flea market or eBay. But instead of old furniture or collectibles, people are there to trade tiny pieces of companies. It's just a marketplace for buyers and sellers to find each other.
Okay, so we've got company slices and we've got a marketplace. But here's the big question. How does a slice get its price? This is where it gets really fun. It's all about a constant, fascinating dance between two groups of people. And it's a super simple setup. On one side, you have the buyers. What do they want? The lowest price they can possibly get. And on the other side, you have the sellers. What do they want? The highest price they can possibly get. They have completely opposite goals. And this dance plays out millions of times every single second. A seller says, "Hey, I'll sell my slice for $101. That's their ask price. A buyer comes along and says, "No way, I'll only pay $100. That's their bid. They go back and forth until a buyer's bid matches a seller's ask. And boom, a trade happens. A price is set. That stock price you see on the news, it is literally just the price of the last completed trade.
So that's how a price is set in any one moment. But why do prices move up and down all day long? This is where it gets really fascinating, because it's not really about computers and algorithms. It's about psychology. It's about us.
A stock's price moves because our collective opinion about that company's future changes. Did they just launch an amazing new phone? Good news, more people want to buy and the price goes up. Did the government release a scary report about the economy? Bad news, people get nervous, they start selling, and the price goes down. It's all driven by what we think is going to happen next, and it's powered by two of the strongest human emotions: greed and fear.
All right, so we've cracked the code on how a single stock works. Now, let's zoom all the way out and figure out what that vague term we hear on the news, the market, actually is. So, if you only own stock in that one pizza company, your entire investment success is tied to that one company. If they invent a new, amazing kind of pizza, you could do great. But if they have a terrible year, you could lose it all. It's super concentrated, high risk, but also high potential reward. Now, to get a feeling for how the whole economy is doing, we don't look at just one company. We look at something called an index. The easiest way to think of an index is like a shopping basket that holds lots of different stocks. The S&P 500, for example, is just a basket with slices from 500 of the biggest companies in the US. So when the news says the market is down, they usually just mean that the average price of all the stocks in that big basket went down.
But here's a funny thing. Even with all the crazy ups and downs, if you look at a chart of the market over, say, 50 years, the general direction is up. So why is that? Well, it's because over the long run, good companies tend to innovate and get better at what they do.
They create new things, they earn more money, and as the whole economy grows, this collection of top companies tends to grow right along with it.
So here's the big takeaway. The stock market isn't some cold, robotic machine. It's a living, breathing story about all of us. It's basically a giant, real-time scoreboard for our collective hopes, our fears, and our belief in the future.
So the next time you hear that headline on the news, it's not going to be just noise anymore. You'll actually understand the dance between the buyers and the sellers. You'll know about the human emotions driving the numbers. So I'll just leave you with this thought. Now that you know how the system works, what do you see?